Hello, Guilherme from Brasília Nights. How are you, my friend? Welcome.
Hello, Alessandro. I'm nice. And you? This is my first
Okay, thank you.
meeting. Oh, this is my first meeting in English.
Great to see
Very
you here.
excited too.
Great. Well, you are always welcome.
Thank you.
Hello to everyone.
Hello, Peter. How are you?
Good.
Welcome
How are
to
you,
our meeting.
Toastmaster Alessandro?
I'm great. Thank you. Thank you for joining us, to helping us on this meeting.
It's my pleasure. Happy to be here.
Hi, Peter.
Great.
The TM, Peter.
Thank you, Toastmaster Eduardo. How are you, sir?
Great.
Good.
It's a sunny day here in Rio de Janeiro.
Yes, warm day here in Greece.
Greece. Oh, it's far away from Brazil.
Not with Zoom. With Zoom, everything is
Yeah.
quite conveniently close.
Quite convenient.
Yes.
We live in a common year, in a common
Yeah.
period.
Yeah. Hello, Madam Toastmaster Patricia Wolf. You are muted. That microphone is always a problem for all of us.
Yes, the damn microphone was trouble.
Yeah. Still cannot hear you, Madam Toastmaster Patricia. Make sure we can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yeah, sure.
now finally
Clear.
Bravo! Thank God for that.
you've broken through the wall of silence.
I know. So you are from Europe. I was from Europe. Now I'm in America.
Excellent. Welcome to the Greek salad.
Multicultural salad.
That's it.
Yes.
Would love to visit Greek.
What part of the US are you in?
I currently live in Arizona.
Scottsdale? Scottsdale?
Actually, yes. I'm Scottsdale. I'm right across the road. I was Scottsdale and changed from Scottsdale to Cave Creek. Right at the top.
Are you living in that big brick house, that 2-story brick house?
No 2 stories, single level. No 2 story, but it's beautiful here.
Do you walk your dog every 7 a.m. in the morning?
No, but I walk myself.
Hello, Toastmaster Plinio.
That's great.
Nice to see you, sir.
My pleasure, Peter.
How are you?
I'm so sad, Peter. I'm fine, very happy.
Don't worry about anything. Just have faith. Have faith in the process. Have faith in the process.
Peter, I've just known that I cannot use the whole time I had prepared. And
You
what
know
can
what?
I do? What can I do?
Toastmaster Plinio, I want to refer you to the meeting agenda theme for today. And it says, and I quote, difficulties and opportunities. Difficulties and opportunities. And that's what life is about, difficulties and opportunities. So philosophize.
The problem, Peter, and Alessandro is the president.
So he's the problem.
I prepared the speech for 10 minutes.
Yes.
What can I do?
We want the discounted version.
Okay, I'm gonna do my icebreaker then. This I can do in 5
That's
minutes.
okay. Give us 5 to 7 minutes of the best of Plinio. That's all we ask.
It's very difficult. I will try, but it's very, very difficult. But I will try.
That's okay. You will grow, my friend. Difficulty is good. Despite what people believe, difficulty is good for the soul.
I will be disqualified.
That's okay. Trust me, being disqualified is also okay. I have also been disqualified many times. Don't worry about that. Worry about doing what you want to do is right.
So return stronger. Just return stronger.
That's right. Don't worry about disqualification. There's nothing wrong with being disqualified, despite what people believe.
So this is great to see this share here. They just talk about how can we help each other and how to understand how Toastmasters works. Lino, I try to understand best how to handle the situation, but don't take anything personal. I suggest, as Peter did, just go for a speech. Don't worry so much about the time. If you need to use a little bit more of your time, use it. There is no problem about that. I think the great knowledge here is to let it go, give the best you have for us. My personal opinion, don't use your ice break. Use your prepared speech for today. Okay, try to make that happen in the right time. If not possible, you can go a little bit after that. Okay, don't worry.
Of course, I'm gonna make my icebreaker. I don't belong to this club. I did this in my club.
Yeah, but Plinio, you don't belong to this club, but neither do I. But destiny brought us together. Destiny, it's like a good marriage. We came together by chance.
A good marriage doesn't happen this way. The couple has to take a long time. One is going to meet each other, know the problems, know the advantages, then the marriage comes. I believe Alessandro should have told me with some time in advance for me.
That's okay. That's okay. Surprises are fun. Sometimes life is full of surprises. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So thank you, everyone. I need to start our meeting formally, so we are on time. It's great to see everyone here. I see that we have another guest here. We are going to have a break in the middle of our meeting, and you can talk after the meeting. If you have any doubts about Toastmasters, just 1 second. If you have any doubt about our meeting or about Toastmasters, and you are here for the first time or second, third time, you can leave your questions in the chat box below. And in the right time, we are going to talk and try to help you understand better what is Toastmasters, how this can make you improve your communication and leadership skills with meetings like this. So welcome, everyone. As I said before, my name is Alessandro Dias. Currently, I'm the president of Brasília Toastmasters. It's a pleasure to have you here. It's great to see that this pandemic situation can make we connect with people from all the world. We have members that are from our club that live in the United States. We have members last year that live in Israel. And now we have guests from Greece, from the United States. It's really, really nice to have you all here. Thank you so much. And I would like to ask applause for every one of you for joining us today. I will start our meeting with our slideshow presentation so I can help you understand best what is Toastmasters and how this works. This is a brief presentation about the meeting and about Toastmasters. So as I said before, we are Toastmasters Brasília. Currently, we are the #1 club in Brazil. It's a pleasure, it's an honor to have this title. We know that we need to keep our meeting at the highest level to keep our club as the #1 in our country. And we have already met the 10 goals for the Distinguished Club here in Toastmasters Brazil. It's great to have the help of our members and guests, each meeting helping us improve these goals. So a small meeting guide, please keep your microphone on mute. So in the right time, we're going to ask you to unmute to make your presentation so we can have the speeches in the right order without any interruption. We use applause, as I said before, in the sign language. So everyone, after each presentation, can just raise your hands and send your greetings for the speakers. Try to use the word of the day in the right time. We're going to have our grammarian. And every time you hear the word of the day, you just give a thumbs up so everyone in the meeting can show to the speaker that he or she is using the word of the day. Our speakers, remember to pin the timer. We are going to show soon who is the person responsible to taking notes of the time. So remember to pin that so you can see the screen change the colors. And we keep our meeting recorded on YouTube so our speakers can see them after the meeting and see how the performance was. So it's a great way to see how they performed. If you don't like to see yourself recording on the meeting, you can just keep your video off. But as our guests and members, we always try to make you share your face, share your smile with us. We don't use this with any commercial intention. It's just to keep backups so they can see themselves after the meeting. And for our guests, if you're joining here for the first time, it's not mandatory for you to speak. This is a place of where you can use the meeting with a safe way to talk with us and use your communication skills, but it's not mandatory for you to speak. We are going to have a table talk session. This is a improvisation speech. If you want to participate in the right time, the person we're going to invite persons to presentation. For you to understand, Toastmasters is an international organization that teaches public speaking and leadership skills through a worldwide network of clubs. As I said before, this is one of the clubs in our city and one of the clubs in our country, and one with another 144 countries around the world. We have more today than 16,000 clubs around these countries, and we have more than 35,000 members that join Toastmasters every week or every month, depends on your club agenda. But it's a great way for you to understand how big this is. And for you to understand better, we have community clubs like Brasília Toastmasters, and we have the corporate clubs. Corporate clubs are clubs that the company sponsors clubs for their employees. They understand that's very important for them to have persons inside of that company that can communicate better and can lead better. So companies like Dell, Microsoft, Facebook, we have IBM, Ericsson, Ford, and many other companies in the world have Toastmasters clubs inside of them because they know the importance of communication, communicate better. So this is the opportunity for you to understand a little bit about what is Toastmasters and what you can have for yourself, your family, or your company if you want. If you have any questions, as I said before, just leave your questions in the chat. And in the break, we're going to talk about your doubts, okay? Our club mission here is, in Brasília Toastmasters, we have this mission for ourselves. So we develop public speaking, leadership skills through active participation, inclusive experience, and continuous learning. As I said before, we have 4 meetings each month in Brasília Toastmasters. We try to make as much as possible so everyone in our club has the opportunity to grow. And they can grow having the meeting prepared for them so they can perform their speech or be our member that is supporting someone with one of the roles that we're going to see early. Today, this presentation is usually done by the president as myself. And today I'm going to be the Toastmaster of the day, the person responsible to conduct the meeting throughout the day, to invite our guests, to invite our speakers, and to keep the meeting on the right time. As we have heard before, our meeting today theme is difficulties and opportunities, our today meeting theme. And why I bring that? I bring because I have read a lot in the past 3 years about development. How can we improve ourselves? In the last year, I believe every one of you has a lot of difficulties with what happened with our health in the pandemic situation. Maybe you have lost someone or someone that you know. And this is really not, maybe someone thinks this is not a great moment to live, but you need to look up for the bright side. You need to look for the opportunity that it has opened for us, like this window in front of me, and look how can we improve ourselves. Jim Rohn is the person I want to show you early. Told one time in a speech about the seasons of life, how the universe works and how life itself works. We have autumn, summer, spring, and the winter, and we need to have all of them to the life to work itself. You don't have just winter all the time, and we don't have summer all the time. If you have that, life wouldn't grow. People wouldn't be possible to make them populate the world as we have done. And this is the same for us inside ourselves, in our personal lives, in our corporate lives. We need to see that maybe today we have a problem. Maybe tomorrow you are going to have a problem and think that was too much for you. But always try to look behind what people has lived in the past, how many difficult they lived 50 years ago, 100 years ago. Think about the person that lived in the World War, how tough it was for them, and we're still here growing as human beings. So the idea for you today is to see difficulties and opportunity in a different way and try to see if today is not good. I'm sure that if you think better and you need to nourish that great knowledge you have inside of you, you can grow yourself to great opportunities and always be prepared, because difficulty is always going to come back again as the seasons is for the world we live. So I leave you with this quote from Jim Rohn. He was a great businessman. And as he said, life in business is like the changing seasons. You cannot change the seasons, but you can change yourself. So look inside of you. How can you be a better person today and tomorrow for everyone that you know, and maybe that you don't know, and you can touch them with the greatness that it has inside of you. Thank you again. And now we are going to make this meeting happen. And as I said before, Toastmaster of the Day is myself. It's a pleasure to have you here, and I'm going to conduct this meeting. We have today Fabio Bueno. Fabio is our timer, is the person responsible to show to our speakers how the time of their speech is going. So she's going to show herself changing the screen of the background. I would like to invite shortly Fabio to just show ourselves to us how we are going to share the time scholars with us. Welcome, Fabio.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. So for example, for a prepared speech, 5 to 7 minutes, you see when you hit 5 minutes, you see my screen turning into green. At 6 minutes, you see my screen in yellow, and then finally 7 minutes, you see my screen red. We have a tolerance of 30 seconds. Let's say if you hit 7 minutes, you still have 30 seconds to finish your speech. Thank you very much, and back to you, Alessandro.
Thank you, Fabia. Thank you so much. And we have today Akiko Yamagami as our accountant. The accountant is the person responsible to take notes about the filler words that we use without notice during our speeches. Maybe you have difficulty with the language as we have today. English is not our first language here in Brazil. And when you don't know how to say something, maybe you use like and instead of pause for a brief moment. So Akiko is taking notes on that. In the right time, I'm going to invite her here, and she will deliver her report to us and count how many times you use filler words so you can improve that for each meeting that we participate. We have our topics master, Caio Oliveira from Beach. Beach is another club here in Brasília. It's a pleasure to say that this club was officially open today. They have the first meeting as a Toastmasters official club. So congratulations on your name, Caio, for the Beach as Best Bay Nova Talking Club here in Brasília. It's great to see that you have now 3 clubs in Brasília. Welcome and thanks for your participation. The Topics Master is the person responsible for the impromptu speech. They have from 1 to 2 minutes to make a presentation for a team that Kai is sharing with you in the right time. You need to improvise from 1 to 2 minutes. In the right time, Kai is coming here and he will share with us the theme of his presentation and invite the members and maybe the guests that would like to participate. And we have today Peter sorry, Peter, I can't say right your second name, Karagianakis from Greece. Thank you so much. Peter, today, I believe here is one of our most prestigious member guests here. He's already a distinguished Toastmasters. So he's someone that has a lot of experience with the Toastmasters educational program, has a lot of experience with club meetings. So it's great to have someone like him to give a whole image of our meeting, how that was performed from the beginning to the end of the meeting, how was the support roles performed, and how was the performance of our evaluators. So thank you, Peter, for helping us today. After the meeting, I will invite him to give his report. And to have today our grammarian, Brianna Pedis, our member from the United States. It's great to see you here again, Brianna. And the grammarian is responsible to take note of the good usage of the language in the English or Portuguese meeting. And she will take notes on how can we improve the use of the English language, or maybe take note of the bad use of the language, so we can improve our communication skills while at the same time our use of the language that we are having this meeting. And I'd like to invite Brianna to share with us the word of the day. Brianna, the stage is yours. Welcome.
Thank you, Alessandro. So thank you everyone for being here this afternoon. The word of the day is alliance, and that is a bond or connection between families, states, parties, or individuals. Union by relationship in qualities. Examples. 1, a closer alliance between government and industry. Number 2, Brazil and the US have an alliance. Knowing that the theme is difficulties, I challenge you to use the word alliance to get through these difficulties. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Brianna. And remind everyone that every time that you see that you hear the word alliance, you just give a thumbs up, because that's how can we show the speaker that he or she used the word as doing his presentation. So as I said before, Alliance here in Brasília Toastmasters is great because you can meet everyone from different countries in the same meeting in the right time, in the same time. Thanks so much, Brianna. And moving on, we have our first part of the meeting, that is our prepared speeches. We have 3 prepared speeches today. This is great because we have different levels of presentation, and we have even one of our members in our club finishing his first path. So it's great. Keep yourself in your spot here. Pay attention for this amazing speech I'm going to see here. And remember to give the feedback after the speech. I'm going to share with you the link so you can share the message to our speakers. Our first presentation today is from Gilmar Henrique Anderson. His path in Toastmasters Pathways program is Presentation Mastery, and the project is Evaluation and Feedback. He will be evaluated by Cynthia from Brasília Nova Talking Club. And the objective of his project today is to receive feedback from Cynthia, see how can he improve his speech, and use this feedback in another prepared speech in another meeting. So this is the second project in the Toastmasters journey. So Gilmar here has a speech with the title, From Glossophobia to the Love for Public Speaking. Gilmar Henrique, from the glossophobia to love for public speaking. The stage is yours.
From the glossophobia to the love for the public speaking. Is it possible to do this journey from one extreme of fear when talking to people to this other extreme of joy, happiness, and even enthusiasm whenever you've got the chance to talk in front of an audience? I want to do this journey. When I was a child, I was extroverted. I used to sing, talk to people, crack jokes, and even dance with my sister in front of colleagues and gatherings, family gatherings. But then this picture started to change after an event that happened in the kindergarten. The teacher came and showed to us a picture. It was basically 2 cylinders crossed on a sheet of paper and asked us to just paint it. I looked to that picture. It looks quite simple. It seemed a little as an airplane, but I had to draw a propeller on it. I did so, show it to the teacher, and she praised me. Oh, indeed, you transformed it on an airplane. So cool. The other colleagues came around my desk asking for help. Hey, help me draw this propeller on my airplane too. Result, in the recess, the teacher came and told me, you're not going out. You're going to be grounded in the classroom because you disturbed the class. Okay, I didn't protest. I sit quiet there. But the days after that, years after that, I was no longer a proactive student. I didn't talk anymore in the classroom. And this behavior extended into other environments of my life till the adulthood, when it started to cause me problems. Once, when I was about 30 years old, I was a guitar player on a classical guitar group. And one day, a local TV station reporter came and put the microphone in front of my mouth and asked me a simple question about my role as a musician in that group. I happily start answering her, but I get surprised because suddenly my voice start getting weaker, vanishing, fading, and just with a lot of effort, I could answer the question to her. She followed on interviewing my other colleagues, and I started to think about that strange, annoying feeling, emotions. What was that? Maybe some neurological illness, or my hypothyroidism symptoms. I don't know, but it was nothing of that after medical exams. Years after that, in another city, another job, I enrolled in a computer course at night at school, and I start noticing these annoying feelings each day when I get prepared to go to the school. Sweating hands, tightness in my throat, a bad feeling in the chest, a discomforting feeling in my stomach. Then I had the idea to search for these symptoms on Google, and there was social phobia, social anxiety. I refined more the search and I discovered this word glossophobia, the famous fear of public speaking. As I didn't have money to pay for a psychologist at that time, I look on the internet for help and I find the book by Steve Pavlanis, A Life Less Anxious. On this book, I read for the first time about a Toastmaster club. The author described as he could decrease his anxiety levels with meditation, physical exercises, diet, but not to a point where he could stand in front of a group and talk in a Toastmaster meeting. I read in other books too about my problem, but I didn't take the bull by the horns. I did talk to people to get rid of my fear. And then years later, it grows worse, this fear, till in another job, another city, again in front of 5 colleagues in the office, I had an anxiety crisis when I went to answer the phone. Whenever the phone rings, I get these bad feelings. Then I went to the psychologist and he helped me with the ACT therapy, acceptance and commitment therapy, and shared with me some books. One of them was the Happiness Trap, about this therapy by Russ Harris. He detailed this therapy on this book. It is basically we've got to accept our emotions and then commit ourselves to do the task we choose to do, even though there is this annoying feelings behind. We don't have to put our attention on the bad feelings, good or bad ones. They come, they go. We have to put our undivided attention on the task we choose to do. That's why I'm here today, to do this alliance between the intention and the action to do the task. That's why I'm here today, to tell you this message about my journey from the glossophobia to the love for the public speaking.
Great, great speech, Gilmar. Congratulations. On glossophobia too, love public speaking. I think that many of us relate on that, just a little bit, I think, because this is how Toastmasters works inside of us. Maybe we didn't know that we have this inside of us, this burning desire to speak and communicate with others. I'd like now to invite everyone to share yourself a feedback for Gilmar. I will just paste here in the chat the link for you to just click that, and after you click that, you can choose Gilmar under the name, and you can write a feedback for him. It's really important for you to share that, because Gilmar can learn a lot from what you think about how was his performance. You can leave positive and negative feedback. Okay, Fabio, please just take note of 1 minute for everyone to write down their feedbacks. Okay. So you can still write your feedback. Don't stop right now your feedback for Gilmar. It's really important for us to have your feedback. After the meeting, he will receive this feedback on his email. So please take your time. But moving with our meeting, I will now move to our second prepared speech of this meeting. And the speech is from Plínio Pinheiro Neto, our guest here. He is from São Paulo First, #1 Club. Thank you, Plínio, for joining us and have our club to receive your presentation today. He is in the Persuasive Influence path in Toastmasters Pathways program, and the project that he is using today is persuasive speaking. The objective here of this speech is to share with us any thoughts and idea or usual speech that he has using abilities of persuasion. This is how we study the Pathways program, and we have different objectives for each speech that we have here in Toastmasters. He'll be evaluated by the distinguished Toastmasters Peter from Greece, and the title of his speech is The Cheapest Medicine. The Cheapest Medicine, Plínio Pinheiro, the stage is yours.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests, especially Peter from Greece, evaluator, who kindly accepted to be my evaluator. I am Plínio from Praia Grande, São Paulo, Brazil. Would you like to get a hug from me? I wish to receive one from you, share some fair beer, wine. But today, thinking about everything we've been going through this last year, I'd like to hug all of you, but I can't. So I have to thank all of you to invite me to talk about this. I'm going to share my window just for a second. Yeah. Well, while writing this speech, all about hugs, I recalled the 80s. There was a beautiful image of a Gemini babies on TV broadcast. You are seeing my screen. These babies seem not to have the perception of having already been born. They were used to crying 24 hours long, both, if kept separated each other. As soon as they were kept close together, they hugged themselves, and at this very moment, they stopped crying. Okay. Do you happen to know someone who doesn't like to get a hug? If so, it's because the person probably has some emotional issue involved, has a disability with itself, or has not learned the value of welcoming. If we look around us, you will realize there are many people experiencing insecurity, loneliness, sadness, existential emptiness. These people may be in need of a hug. Through it, we can transmit many positive emotions, such as love, gratitude, security, faith, friendship, joy, comfort. Hugs are an alliance with all your loved ones. All of these without having to say a single word. You have the power to connect souls, heal body wounds. Hugs cannot be extinguished because they mean security to people, at least for those who have the privilege of receiving it and offering it. Among many others benefits of hugging, scientists all around the world claim that a single hug is able to maximize and broadens our sense of self-acceptance, minimizes anxiety and stress, releases dopamine, the humor hormone and motivation. It strengthens the immune systems by generating positive emotions, balances the nervous system, it strengthens connection, enables the exercise of forgiveness, support, and love, wraps your heart and comfort your soul. It positively impacts our body and mind, releasing the love hormone. 10, produces endorphins, the same chemical released on their body after a good run or when we eat chocolate. Do you like chocolate? Who doesn't like chocolate? I do. Hugs saves lives, dear Toastmasters. The hug is so sacred that it brings two hearts together so that one person can feel the other's heartbeat. Tum, 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 tum. There are words that come to me as a hug, and there are hugs that do not need any words to have sense. And a message to you, Pete, before I finish my speech, I took in your Instagram. Everything is not locked down. Love, hope, creativity goes. Writing a speech like this. Pete, you are a real, true inspiration. I loved to take a look at your Instagram, and I am happy to have time to continue because it's beautiful. My sincere hugs for you all. Back to you, fellow Toastmasters. Thank you very, very, very much.
Great, great, Lino. Amazing speech. I myself I'm a hugger. As I said to my friends in Toastmasters, when we have the meeting in person last years, I always kept for the last minute of the meeting. I didn't leave after the meeting ends. I always was one of the last ones to go because I always like to see everyone, to shake hands and hug, because this is how we share some confidence, some love, and that's how many friendships start and grow. So amazing speech. Thank you so much. I would like now, as we have before, to invite you all here in our meeting to share your feedback for Plinio. This is how we can go into Toastmasters. We have someone to evaluate him, but we always invite even our guests to share your feedback. It's really important for Plinio and ourselves to see what you like or didn't like. So we have 1 minute for that. Fabio, please take note for this 1 minute. And soon we have our third and last prepared speech for this meeting. You can always keep sharing your feedback for Plinio. Don't hesitate to keep writing down what you think about, what you feel about that. And now we are moving to our next prepared speech. And it's a pleasure to share with you this slideshow, because this is always a moment of pleasure, of joy to see someone in our club finishing his first path in the Pathways program. Alexandre Magno joined us in the last year, and I saw him meeting after meeting, every meeting, showing himself in Portuguese and English, try to improve. We went on virtual meeting. He was here with us every meeting. I saw him here, challenging himself and making him a better speaker. So today, Alexandre Magno will present a speech on the dynamic leadership path in Toastmasters Pathways program. And the project, as I said before, is the last one, is reflect on your path. The objective for him today is to share with us how was his experience in the last month, how was his pathways problem for him, how that impacted him, and he needs to put that inside a speech and deliver this today. This is a different project, so he has from 10 to 12 minutes to deliver this speech. And the title, and his evaluator is Naya Lima from Best Bay Nova Talking. Naya, thank you so much for helping us today. And the title of his speech is Things That Can Change and Things That Can Never Change. Alexandre Magno, Things That Can Change and Things That Never Change. The stage is yours, my friend.
Try to imagine the scene. It was the third day of 2019. I was beginning my work at my new office. I've never been so high in the corporate ladder. In fact, it was the first time that I got a job that was not a legal job, consulting job. I was deputy secretary in a ministry. And so I sat down on my chair and start to think to myself, well, I want to do the best job ever. I want to give the best of me and to meet all their expectations. So I sat there all day long, waiting and waiting and waiting. The next day, I sat again and waiting. 1, 2 weeks were gone, and then I understood, well, no one will come here to tell me what I need to do. I need to formulate that myself. Well, I began to do what I always do. I began to read a lot, to do online courses. I hired a coach. I was skyrocketing, and I learned a lot of stuff. But I need to make a confession to you. I love self-help books. I read dozens of these books. And you know, some are quite good. We can learn something from these books. And there was a book that I read probably 3 times. It was beside my table. And to be sincere, I can't remember its name. But I remember it was something like 52 Secrets to Success. And in one of the chapters, the author said, you have to know how to express yourself. Okay, this is quite obvious. But in the end of the chapter, he said, well, I highly recommend to you to go after Toastmasters in your city. This was the first time that I heard about Toastmasters. And my coach also said, well, you are speaking a lot in your job. You need to practice it. And I remember that book beside my table. And one Saturday, I went to the University of Brasília. It was February 2020. Life was still normal. The apocalypse hasn't come yet. And I remember something that happened to one of my daughters, and I did an impromptu speech there. And well, they said that that was the best speech. And I thought to myself, wow, I'm great, I'm doing really, really well. And I began to be in the meetings all the time, all the Saturdays. And the first conclusion is that life is not so easy as we would like, because, well, second confession, I'm a kind of competitive guy. So I was not winning anymore. And I thought to myself, what is happening? What is the problem with me? Is the problem with these people? Don't they like me? What is happening, for God's sake? Well, I was really, really insecure. Then, me and my wife, we went to a romantic travel to Ushuaia, on the end of the world. A very beautiful place, I recommend to you all. And in the second day of the travel, we were locked in our apartments. COVID has started. And the president of Argentina demanded to every foreigner to go away. So we were 2 days locked there until we could finally get back to Brasília. It was terrible. A kind of new life was beginning. And suddenly, I received how can I say, news from my boss. I was promoted. Now I was not just a deputy, but really the secretary, the highest job in my career. And I continued to go to the meetings of Toastmasters. And, well, after some times, things started to work. And I was feeling more at ease with the speaking, with you all. And I started winning some things, and I was really excited about it. Oh, good, I'm going a good way. So I spoke a lot at my job, and I was practicing a lot at Toastmasters. And I began to understand something very precious to me today. Toastmaster is a very unique place. It's not just a place where you can practice your speaking, leadership, influence, etc., etc. It's an extremely friendly place. And it makes all the difference. Understand, I was a top boss. No one disagreed with me. And people here in Toastmasters, they could disagree in a very smooth, friendly way. I saw, oh, I like that. Sincerity with gentleness. There is really friendship. And some people here, I began to consider my personal friends, even some persons that I never saw personally. It was quite a curious sensation to be very close to some people. Well, and the world goes around, and in December last year, without any motivation, justification, they just said they don't needed me anymore. And all the work that I was doing, working 12 hours a day until 10 p.m., it was completely dismissed, forgotten due to politics. And I could have asked to myself, well, and now, what do I need Toastmasters for? Well, I really didn't ask this question. I just kept going. My life changed totally. I moved away from Brasília. I'm in another city, 10 feet from the beach, home working. And I still think that Toastmasters is something very precious to me. Not only from the learning, but also, and perhaps mainly, from the friendship, from the experience that we have. So in this day, I would like to thank you all for this community that we formed together. And well, it's kind of strange to end the path because we think, I really thought that Toastmasters was like that video game that we are going through several stages and we never end in some sense. I don't like to think that we will have an end to it. So I'm already in another path because I really want to keep going. And to someone who is starting on Toastmasters, I would just say, don't worry. You are on the right place with the right people. And you will have with them, with us, one of the best experiences of your life. Thank you.
Congratulations, Alexandre. Amazing, amazing speech. This is great to see how that was for you and how you handle your difficulties and how you get the opportunity that you had in the last year. And I hope that everyone here that is beginning, as you said, or is a guest here to see how others can help us. How can we grow ourselves inside and outside with this great, great educational program. Congratulations on your speech. This was amazing. So everyone, I would like now to ask you to share your feedback for Alexandre Magno. Take your time, have 1 minute at least for that. You can just access the link now and choose Alexandre's name and write down, or in Portuguese or in English, you choose what you think was great and what you think he can improve in his speech. And we have 1 minute for that. And I will keep you informed on the time. Okay, you all can keep write down your feedback for him about these seconds that is pasting us now. So I'd like now to invite our timer to share with us how was the performance of our speaker today and who is able to be voted for this meeting. So please welcome Fabio Bueno. Fabia, stage is yours.
Thank you, Alessandro. Gilmar, and his speech from the glossophobia to the love of public speaking, he did it in 6 minutes and 14 seconds. Alexandre, things that change and things that never change, 11 minutes and 24 seconds. Plinio, the cheapest medicine, 5 minutes sharp. So they are all eligible for voting. Thank you. Back to you, Alessandro.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone. So we'll launch our poll now on your screen. You can just click in the name that you think, in your personal opinion, who was the best prepared speech for this meeting. Remembering that the guests can vote. It's one personal opinion. And every meeting we try to do that, because as Alexandre said to us during his speech, some persons are more competitive than others, and some persons like to receive the awards for the presentation, for the preparation they had before the meeting. So share your votes here. Yes, Akik is just so difficult today. We have 3 amazing speeches. It is really difficult. And it's nice to see that we felt arranged that we have a speech that started inside ourselves. The meeting theme was shared last 2 days ago, and I'm sure that everyone had already read their speech. So it's nice to see that how serendipity brings this meeting together and close. So now almost everyone voted. We are moving on with our meeting, and we have, okay, let me see, how is our agenda going here? Okay, we have a small break now. We are on time. We have 5 minutes for this break. And if you would like, you can go drink some water, or you can leave your chair for a minute. And if you have any doubts, I would like now to invite our guests to talk with us, to say what you think about our meeting, if you have any doubts. And Fabio, please remind us that at 4 p.m. and 1 minute that we have to reconcile our meeting. Thank you, Fabio. So let me see who is our guests here that I didn't talk before. Alex, I'm not sure if I have seen you here before. Welcome. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing well. I'm Plinio Neto's guest. And I think I've been here in this meeting before. At least one time. Alessandro, I talked to you by WhatsApp. You gave me
yes, this week. Yeah, sure. I remember now.
How to do the timer.
Great.
I live in Florida. I'm from a first US Portuguese club. And I'm always amazed with the technology the Brazilians has. We are so behind. It's even it's so funny the way we are old school, like the Vatican Church. We do everything like almost.
But that's how we learn, Alex. It's
Yes.
great because now we can share so easy with each others.
Yes.
With this pandemic situation, because before that we have our clubs, everyone in each city. I know that many clubs even didn't want their members to talk with other members from different clubs because they was afraid to lose members.
Yes.
And now I think that everyone lost this silly fear and know that we can share together many ideas and many knowledge and grow our clubs together. It's great to help you.
Yes, I'm glad to be here.
It's really nice to see you here, Alex. I think we've been together before. I can't remember where.
Yes.
Actually, in which meeting?
It's this club. It's Alatea's club.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a question, actually. Where is Alatea today?
Alatea, she has some personal schedules for her today, so she couldn't make this meeting. But I'm sure that she will, for sure, because I know her, she will watch all this meeting tonight at YouTube.
Yeah, of course. Actually, I am her Padawan. And she invited me here to be like the TT. I was really honored, and I have to confess, I'm really afraid and excited and nervous because this is my first time like having the opportunity in playing a role inside a meeting in English, which for me it's really, it's a huge thing.
Great. No, but I'm sure, Kyle, that you are in the right place. Toastmasters is the safe place that you can make all the mistakes that you want to make and the ones that you didn't want to make, so you can learn and grow. I was in the same spot of you last year, 1 year ago, when I joined Toastmasters Everywhere. That's the first advanced club in Brazil, and everyone there speaking English. Even though we have many Brazilian members, and we have a lot of international members from the United States, England, we have persons from Romania, I think. And I was there performing my first role, and I was terrified because as I did in my first icebreaker, I was crazy how these persons here, these people here will look to myself. And I can sure tell you that after the meeting, you will feel relieved and welcomed every time that you join a club in Toastmasters. I'm sure that. And doesn't matter the language, if it's your first time in English, if you're a Brazilian or Portuguese speaker, English speaker.
Thank you.
So Guilherme, how is your meeting so far, Guilherme?
Oh, I enjoy very much. It's my first English meeting. I told this before, and I'm very impressed with the speeches and the people.
Great.
Talking English. It's very nice.
Yes. I believe that's how we can learn. That's when you saw someone that doesn't have English as first language, we feel more welcome, more safe to speak. I joined a club last year as a guest. It's With Birds. It's an international club. They happen to meet just online, even before the pandemic. And it's great because you can see there, I think they have almost 30 members, and almost of them are not from the same country. So you have a lot of different accents in the same meeting. We have different English levels during the meeting. And as I said to Caio, we are always welcome there. Even the members that can speak English well, I was general evaluator for them, I was timer for them, and always was welcome because the language we speak, English or Portuguese or Spanish, is not the barrier here. It's not the thing. We can communicate even though we don't have a great English myself, because it's not my first language. But I assure all of you, after 1 year in Toastmasters using this platform to speak in English, I improved a lot, because as many friends are here in Brazil, we are used to hear a lot in English because of TV series and movies, but we're not used to speak. We're not used to use the language, the muscle language to speak. So I encourage all of you to join as much as possible English or Portuguese. I know because Brianna wants to join the Portuguese meeting here to exercise your muscle, because we're going to improve a lot on your second language you want to learn. So Fabio, thank you so much for sharing us the time. We are moving on with our meeting. And now we have our table talk session. Table talk session is, where is my slideshow? Is the session that we have the impromptu speech. We have now Caio Oliveira from Best Bay Nova Talking Club here in Brasília. He will share with us the theme or ideas or phrases that we need to improve to make impromptu speeches. Remind everyone here that the table talk session we have 1 to 2 minutes for each speech. I would like now to invite Caio Oliveira to explain us what is the table talk session and how that works. Caio, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Alessandro. I'm just gonna share here my screen with you guys. Okay, first of all, I'm here as a guide to this experience, which is our table topics. And as a guide, I'd like to and my duty is to empower and encourage people to speak here. Everyone here in this meeting is welcome to speak, to deliver a speech. So I prepared something very special here for us today, which was a Brasília themed table topics. I don't know if you are aware that this last week we had the 61st anniversary of our city. And because this club is called Brasília, I prepared something related to our beloved city. So the table topics name is the Rio Candango. The name Candango, I'll explain to you in a bit. So Brasília, or Brasília in Portuguese, is our federal capital of Brazil and the seat of the government here, located in Federal District. So our table topics today, it's a trip to Brasília and its culture and a bit of storytelling. So there is this expression that we say, you are a real Candango or you are a real Brasiliense when you do some things. So Candango is known by the people that built Brasilia, that came here to construct, to build our city, But I'd like to use this word now because we that live here in Brasilia, we are building it every day, day by day. So I'm going to propose to you a sentence that a real Candango would be or would know, and you have to fulfill some conditions to achieve your speech. So the first one is use the words I'm going to share with you, and there is a Brasília way, a Brasília meaning of the word, and there is an original meaning of the word. And for the first speech, I'd like to invite you, Alessandro, to start and to show our guests here how it's done. Our first situation is, so you are a Rio Candango when you call a speed raider pardal. When speed raider, it's a speed raider, and pardal, it's sparrow. So in your speech, you're gonna have to tell us a story containing speed raider and the sparrow, the bird. The stage is yours.
Okay. Thank you, Caio. When I first took my driver's license, almost 21 years ago, here in Brasília, capital of Brazil, technology was arriving to our streets, and many things were different there. Even the light of the lamps in the streets was different. We have now many bright white lights. In that time, we have a lot of orange lights in our streets. And soon, technology arrives in our smartphones, in our computers, and that arrived in our streets here in Brasília. And soon, we start to see that pole in the street with a camera there. And that cameras, every time that we move above the speech, they took a picture of your cars, they write down the plate of your car and send yourself to your home in your name, one fine because you was above the limit. That was crazy, but we need to move on. We need to see different opportunities in every difficulties. And as Caio really nice mentioned, we have a way to say that. When you look up in one tree, many times you see different birds there. And in Brasília, we have a lot of sparrows. By the way, if you don't know, sparrows are not native birds from Brazil. They was bring a lot of years ago. I'm almost sure that. And sparrows, they procreate a lot, and they take all of the, I'm not sure to say, the place of different birds. And we start to say that inside of that can we have the sparrow. So paradise, we have to slow down because there's a sparrow near our car. So when you arrive in Brasilia, don't worry to hear that we have a bird taking pictures of your car and sending a fine into your place in your name. Thank you.
Thank you, Alessandro. So for our second speech, I'd like to invite Alex, who I just got information that he is a Rio Candango. And Alex, so you are a Rio Candango when you got lost in a tesourinha. So for those who aren't from Brasilia, tesourinha is how we call these little viaducts that interact some highways here, some roads here. But tesourinha is Little Caesars too. So in your story, you have to use the word viaduct and Caesars, Little Caesars. It's with you, Alex.
Thank you, topic master. Thank you, everyone, again. Yes, I am a Rio Candango. You know why? Because my father, when he left Minas Gerais and went to Brasilia, he asked the bus driver to drop him off at the cheapest bread and breakfast. And the bus driver told my father, don't worry, there's only one over there. And that's how far my father was there really, really in the beginning. But the tesourinha is a way to, it's not a U-turn. You make a turn and go under the underpass. And when I was young, my early 20s, I had a car. Now, I didn't have a car, but when I used to get my brother's car, I used to love going to tesourinha. I was kind of like, I imagine I was like a bad boy, but I was never one. But that's things from Brasilia that you have to know how to drive. But I moved to Florida. I'm sorry, I moved to the United States decades ago. So I have forgot how the traffic works in there. Not the main city, but Brasilia grows so much that it was unbelievable. But I have another story about Brasilia. I used to do a party crash. I used to crash parties with my friends. And I went to this party and they had a band was going to sing for the whole party. Some crazy band that I never heard about in my life. The name of the band was Legião Urbana. So I was in a band, they were playing for a bunch of people. No one knew about them. And that's why I think I'm a real Candango. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Wow, that's a beautiful story, Alex. Well, you guys, I just like to remind you that you can use both the words. Actually, you must use both the words that I will present here, which is this free translation from our previous word here. So in this case, viaduct and Little Caesars, just to spice up our story here. I'd like to invite now Naya, which is a fellow colleague from my club, Beat. And Naya has these beautiful stories too. So Naya, you are a Rio Candango when you go through inside Buraco do Tatu. Buraco do Tatu is a tunnel in our great bus station here in Brazil. So you have to use the word tunnel. And Buraco do Tatu means armadillo's hole. And you can see here in our images that it kind of looked like. So, Naya, tunnel and armadillo's hole. It's with you, Naya.
Thank you. It's great to be here today. I'm a real Brazilian, a Brasiliense. I'm from here. I was born and raised here, and I'm in my second generation. My daughter is also born here, so I'm really happy. So let me tell you a story. When I was a little girl, I was really, really afraid to go to the bus station. That is rodoviária, right? It's where we pick the buses to go to everywhere in Brasília because everything is so far away. So we lived a little bit far from the center of Brasília. And my grandma would always have to pick me up and take me to the doctors or dentists. And I was starting to sweat because I know I would go through the tunnel. I would go through the I don't remember now. Yes, I have to go through it. So that was terrible for me. And I'm really happy to say that today I'm a really great, I have passed through all this, and I go through with my car every day, every week to go to my work. So I'm really happy to be a Brasiliense and really happy to go through this alliance between resilience and to be a Brasiliense. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Naya. And for our last TT today, I'd like to invite Peter to feel like a real Candango here. Can you do that for us?
Yes, Mr. Table Topics Master, I am here.
Okay, so you were a real Candango when you say, let's go, véi. Let me translate that for you. Véi is how we call bro, dude. Something like, come on, bro, come on, dude. But it's a short, véi is a short for value, which means old person, right? So you have to tell us a story containing dude or bro and old person. So delight us with your speech. Thank you very much.
Mr. Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters. Véi, my Brazilian student, my mentee called me véi. I said to him, how dare you? He said, sir, your hair is gray. I said, my hair is gray because I'm wise, not because I'm old. You've confused the whole idea about véi. I said to him, you are véi. I am the wise one. So he said to me, what do you mean by that? I said, you don't understand what wisdom is. Well, you come to me to learn. I come to you to make you what I dream you can be. So he said, then you are not only wise, you are a dude. You are véi. I said, in that case, you are right. I am véi because I'm the dude with all the wisdom. And since I have all the wisdom and I am the dude, that's why we're together. Fellow Toastmasters, I am proud to be known as the wise véi. Over to you, Mr. Table Topic Master.
Wow, that was amazing. Amazing. I love it. So, and that was our table topics. Thank you, Brasília, the club, and Brasília, the city. Thank you. It's with you, Alessandro.
Thank you, Caio. Amazing, amazing tabletop session, amazing slideshow presentation. That was great to see and see how different person use ideas for such a specific city as Brasília. So thanks so much. So now we are moving to our next session. That's the report on our timer, Fabio Buenos, is sharing with us who is eligible to be voted as the best tabletop speaker for this meeting. Please welcome Fabio again. Stage is yours, Fabio.
Hi, you're all eligible for voting. Alessandro, you did it in 2 minutes and 14 seconds. Alex, in 2 minutes and 4 seconds. Naya, 1 minute and 34 seconds. And Peter, 1 minute and 20 seconds. So you're all eligible. Back to you, Alessandro.
Okay, thank you, Fabio. Thank you so much. So now I'm launching the poll on your screen. And again, our guests can vote. You can just choose who do you think your personal opinion was the best tabletop speaker for this meeting. Just click there and cast your vote. We have 1 minute for that. Actually, we have already everyone voted. Great. It's great to see that. You can see the vote here. So we are moving on with our meeting. And this is great to see the performance of our speakers. I would like to say, now that the vote session has passed, that is great to see how different persons use different teams to deliver speeches. And I'd like to everyone, as you saw early, how Peter used one thing so different for his reality and how he's used that information to deliver a speech to us, even that I'm sure that he never has listened to that expression before. That's the power of those masters. That's the power of keeping learning and keeping having ourselves in an uncomfortable situation so we can grow. Congratulations, everyone. Congratulations, Peter and Kyle, for this great tabletop session. Now, moving to our third part of the meeting, we have now our evaluation. We have 3 meeting parts. The first was the prepared speech, second, our tabletop session, and now we have our evaluators. This is great to see how the speech was handled before, and the evaluators take notes on what they think the speaker can improve, what was best, and how to make things better in the next presentation they have here in Toastmasters. For our prepared speech, for our first prepared speech, we have Gilmar Henrique as a speaker, and we had Cynthia Rieger from Beach Best Bay Nova Talking Club as his evaluator. So please welcome Cynthia Rieger. She has from 2 to 3 minutes to deliver her feedback.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon. Gilmar, I'd like to start tell you a big congratulations, because I know that it's a difficult way to conturn our difficulties and learn with they. So it's a congratulations not because you have the courage to stay here and speak in front of a public or a virtual public, but courage to in front your difficulties and share this page. Oh, turn this page, sorry. There's something you told me to notice, and talking about your gestures, I like the way that you use your gestures. You put they in specific moments of your speech that it's a great moment to use. Of course, you can use a little more, but you start this way to speak in English. And I know that sometimes we need to think a little more and we forgot to talk with our hands and with our face. I really appreciate your voice. You speak clarity, you have a good voice, and you have a good English, a good speech. You use a story, a storytelling about your story, and you put this in a specific moment that was a great to us to understand your trajectory. Talking about your contact eyes, your eye contact, sometimes you look more to the screen, but here in virtual online, oh my God, in online meeting, we need to look to the camera to stay in contact with our public, because we have the necessity to see the reactions, but not here in virtual meeting, because we need to stay closer to our public with the camera. It's interesting the examples that you bring us when you talk about the what happened to you that start you're afraid to speak, to talk about your feelings, to intervene with your ideas. And I really like the example that you bring to us. I am a teacher, and now I will be I will pay attention how I avoid my students. I really learn with your speech. Thank you to invite me to be your evaluate, and thank you back to
Okay. Thank you, Cynthia. Great feedback. Now we're moving on to our second evaluation for this meeting. And we have now Peter. Peter was evaluating Plínio Pinheiro Neto presentation, and he will have from 2 to 3 minutes. Please welcome Peter, our second evaluator for this meeting. The stage is yours, Peter. Oh, sorry, Peter, you are muted. Peter, you are muted.
I'm mute.
Fellow Toastmasters and Mr. Toastmaster of the evening, and especially my speaker, Plinio. Plinio, if Paulo Coelho could write The Alchemist, today you delivered a speech on the alchemy of dopamine. Your speech was a speech that was full of emotion. You had dopamine in the persuasive ingredient of your speech. Your speech was about persuasion, but inside persuasion, you put the secret ingredient of dopamine. I really enjoyed the fact that you opened up that slide and you showed us those two embryos together as one. Two hearts beating as one. What else can we ask for in the age of social isolation and distancing? And then you took us into the idea of what more can we ask for? Can we want for in life than to be together, to hold hands together, to grip together in the difficulties of life? This was truly a persuasive speech. So how can I, as your evaluator, help you to enrich this speech and future speeches? Plinio, why sit down with a speech that's full of love and emotion? Stand up. Plinio, were you reading from a script? I want to leave you with that question and that thought. Plinio, I would have liked to have seen you engage with the camera more. Come up close and show us your loving eyes so that we can feel more of the dopamine, so that you can persuade us more down the lines of fellow Toastmasters. All we need today, the cheapest medicine, is to be together. And today we can do it. In summary, I found this speech had the secret ingredient of dopamine, and you used it well. You are a master persuader. Ultimately, I would like to see you standing up and engaging with the stage in different ways. I wish you the best of luck in your future speeches, and I hope to be standing again, evaluating you as the better and greater speaker that you can be, that I saw in you today. Over to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you so much. Such a great feedback, full of information that we can grow. I always like to remember our guests to pay attention for these moments in our meeting, because that is how you can grow and learn here in Toastmasters. This is all about feedback. We need to be together, prepare ourselves, and receive great feedback, as we saw today from Cynthia and Peter. Now, moving on, we have Naya Lima, our third and last evaluator for this meeting. And she was evaluating Alexandre Magno last speech on his first Pathways program. So please, I'd like to welcome Naya Lima, our third evaluator. Stage is yours, Naya.
Thank you, Alessandro. Good afternoon again. Hi, everyone. I'm really glad to be here today. I have to say this is my first evaluation. I don't know, Alessandro, if I'll have an evaluation about my evaluation. Okay. Gosh, sorry. Hello. Okay, Alexandre Magno, the title of his speech was Things That Change and Things That Never Change. He is in his Pathways Dynamic Leadership Level 5, so congratulations. Alexandre, you did present a very good speech that share experiences that you have throughout the whole months you've been here, showing this, including your progress, your skills you learned and developed, as well celebrating your achievements in a style that was very good. So Alexandre, congratulations, was a very good speech. It's been a long path, and you brought us a narration of this path. Not only on the past year, that was not very easy for all of us, but of course wasn't easy for you either. So I understood very well your whole story. So you're a very good storyteller. And I can say that you have a great eye contact. This is very important to us, especially here at Zoom. So you are here with us. You are engaging us with your story. Was very engaging from the first word until the last one. I really like to point to here some things that you said, because you open your heart. You have to be very vulnerable, and this is very good, I think. For example, in the beginning, you said about the secret of the success. You love books, and you were reading about this book, and in this book was talking about Toastmasters. So great. So you're showing us that you really did was a very good decision for you. So what I want to point out too, the second thing that you said, I have to be honest. I'm very competitive. And here, yes, we are very competitive. And you did a really great job showing us this vulnerability that you have. So you brought to me that you have to improve a couple of things. For example, framing, you said some technical points, right? Framing was okay for me. And the backdrop, maybe the backdrop wasn't good enough. Maybe you could do something else. So for improvement, I would say stand up for the next time. And the thing that was really lovely, Ed told about friendship, and friendship is everything in Toastmaster. Thank you for your speech.
Thank you.
To you,
Thank you, Naya. Thank you, Naya. Great feedback. I was taking notes on your feedback, and after the meeting, I will share with you the form and the evaluation that we have for you. So thanks so much. Now, as Naya mentioned, I will share a brief feedback for her. I know that Peter is doing the same, but inside her project, I will share this feedback as an evaluator for her, so she can improve as a Toastmasters member and always bring a better feedback for the person that she will evaluate in the future. So Naya, it's great that you take note of the theme of the title of his speech, and you share with us. This is a great way to see that we can remember what that was about, and you remember us that what was the objective of his speech, and that he really get that on point and nailed that during his feedback or during his speech. You remember to him us that the story that he said to us was really touchful and with a lot of emotion, and that kept your attention and our attention during the speech. It's really important because that was a tough speech to evaluate. It's a long speech, 12 minutes. It's not easy to really keep paying attention, even here in online meeting, because it's so easy to look away and miss the speech. So congratulations on that. That was really impressive, because that's really important to show our speaker. Even now here, you don't know Alexandre, but in the same club or different clubs, it's more important to show that you really care about the speaker. So that was really great. You have a clear, great language that was easy to understand. You share your thoughts really good. One point that I think is really important, and I always remember that for the members that is giving feedback for the first time, is compliments is really easy to receive. It's so good to receive compliments, but we grow in the difficulties. So I noticed that you have almost all of your time to share what you think was good. And my personal opinion and the Toastmasters program is that you keep at least half of that time to show Alexandre or the speaker that your evaluation what him or she can improve. What was the difficult point that you noticed that there, because this is more portion of the feedback is where we can grow. Okay, people here in Brazil, I'm sure that in Greece and United States it's different. In Brazil, we are not used to receive feedback, especially negative feedback, because people take that personal. So the idea here is really go deep on the objective of the product, what was done, what needs to improve, share that with him. I'm sure that he as a good Toastmaster member will receive that with an open heart. And even if something seems to be personal, I always invite everyone after the meeting to talk, even on a WhatsApp or personal, so you can tie some knots, some knots, and see how everyone can improve. So congratulations on your speech, on your evaluation speech. Thank you so much. So Fabian, I'd like to invite you to give your time report for the 3 first feedbacks, okay?
Thank you. Congratulations, guys. You all did it on time. Cynthia did it in 3 minutes and 23 seconds. Peter, 2 minutes and 29 seconds. And Naya, 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Over to you, Alessandro.
Okay, thank you again. So now, as before, I just launched the poll on your screen, so you can just click there who you think was the best evaluation for this meeting. You can vote even though you are a guest or if you have here for the first time. Share what you think was your best evaluator for this meeting. Okay, I see that almost everyone voted. So we are moving, we are our meeting, and now we have the reports. We keep having the feedbacks from our meeting. So we start with the report, and now we have our account report, and that will be performed by Akiko Yamagami, our member, and she will deliver the notes that she took during the presentations we have before. And please welcome our account for this meeting, Akiko Yamagami.
Thank you, Toastmaster, and hello, fellow Toastmasters. So as an counter, I'm going to report the number of times that each speaker used filler sounds and overused words. So let's get started. With the first speaker, Dilma, I found just 1 repeat words from his speech. And the second speaker, Plinio, I found 2 repeated words from him. And the third speaker, Alexandre, I couldn't find any filler sounds and repeated word. Maybe I was so much into his great speech and I forgot the counting, but I didn't find any. And then we move to the evaluator speakers now. And the first evaluator, Cynthia, I found one R sound from her and then 5 repeated words. And the second evaluator, Peter, I couldn't find any. And then third evaluator, Naya, I found 5 R sound and then 3 repeated words from her. And then now we move on topic master, Kayo. I found just 1 R from him and then 3 repeated words. And then now to table topic speakers. We have 4 speakers. The first, Alessandro, I found 2 repeated words from him. And then Alex Coelho, I found 1 repeated words like my father, my father. And then third speaker was Naya. This time I found 4 R from her. And Peter again, for table topic speech, I couldn't find any filler words from him this time either. And then from timer, Fabia, I found just 1 R. And then from Toastmaster, Alessandro, since he has lots of times to speak, deliver the talk, maybe I couldn't follow up, but I just found just 1 R and then just 1 repeated words. Thank you, Toastmaster. Back to you.
Okay. Thank you, Akiko. I hope our guests could see how this report can help us improve. It's great to see how I was myself 2 years ago as a Toastmasters in my first meeting. Deliver my icebreaker is so tough. You used a lot of filler words, and many of you, how you improve. So this is great. This account of feedback is great for someone that is starting or is more user experience in Toastmasters, but has, as myself, English as a second language, so we can improve a lot. Thank you so much, Akiko. Our next report will be from our grammarian, Brianna Perez. She will deliver the better use of the language, what was good or not on the use of English words today. Brianna, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Alessandro. So we will begin with Fabia, and then I will hit Alessandro at the very end. So Fabia, just one correction. You see my screen green. You will see my screen turn green. I think there's a missing word there. Gilmar, one grammatical issue. Whenever the phone rings, I think you meant to say rings. Also on your pronunciation, you were talking about your sheet of paper. It sounded like you said my shit of paper, which can be misinterpreted as poop. So just a little bit of pronunciation there. But otherwise, very, very good. Blinio, really, I didn't see any issues. I saw one thing you said when you were talking about, do you know a person who doesn't like hugs? They may have a disability with itself. When you're talking about a person, it's themselves or himself or herself, not itself. Alexander, I think you said, start to think to myself. I think you missed the to, started to think to myself. So just past tense there. And then also another one with tense, I sitted again. I think you meant to say I sat again. And last one is the apocalypse hasn't come yet. You were talking about past tense, so it would be the apocalypse hadn't come yet. Gayo, I don't know if I was just very enthralled with your speech. I didn't catch anything. I didn't catch anything. Tesourinha, you said for the word for the highway overpass, another word for it is cloverleaf. I looked that up. So cloverleaf highway. I didn't know that. I had to look it up. Alessandro, you said they sent one fine. So when you're talking about one versus a, it's better to say they sent a fine instead of they sent one fine. One is more for like a number. And then sparrows were bring, sparrows were brought. Let's see. And then Alex, you said I moved to United States. It would be I moved to the United States. There was an article missing there. Naya, you said you brought to me. I think it would be better said if you said you brought up to me. Because you can bring something to someone, but if you bring it up, it's more of a conversation point. Peter, no issues, obviously. And Cynthia, in front, you said when somebody in front something, it would be better said if someone confronted something. And then you said you speak claret. I think you meant to say you speak clearly. The ly is what describes an adjective. And then thank you for inviting me to be your evaluate. I believe it's evaluator. And then Alessandra, at the very end, you were giving feedback on Naya. You said we grow in the difficulties. This may be just a pronunciation, it's difficulties. And then you said you remember us. It would be better said you reminded us. And that is it.
Great, Brianna. Thank you so much. I love to have the feedback on the English meeting. Even though when I don't participate, when I was or I am just a guest, I always try to see and look what I can improve on my personal participation on meetings. So thank you so much. Great. So moving on with our meeting, I will, before our general evaluator, ask you all to open your camera so we can have the picture for this meeting that we post on our Instagram account. So please, everyone that has your camera off, just okay. Okay, let me see if everyone is here. Great, so give your best smile. I will take one picture on 3, 1. Okay, one more. 1 second. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you so much. And moving with our meeting, we have our last but not least, and so much important, general evaluator report. Every Toastmasters meeting has this moment, and we have today a pleasure to have one distinguished Toastmasters from another club. That's Peter from Greece. Thank you so much, Peter. Please, the stage is yours. We are eager to see and hear your feedback.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the evening, Mr. President, fellow Toastmaster, and dear guests. First of all, I want to clarify that I'm going to try to be as genuine as possible, with the understanding that I need to be helpful to be genuine, otherwise I won't be helpful. So it's up to you what you decide to take on, and you're free to decide how much of this will add value to your club and to the visitors as well as you go ahead back to your own clubs. So in general, I really liked the meeting. I thought the meeting had variety. It was set up quite nicely. It was smooth. I particularly liked that the Toastmaster of the evening was positive and inclusive. He was talking with people before the show began, which is nice. It's breaking the ice with individual members, which is important because sometimes you get guests in the age of Zoom and sometimes they feel a little bit uncomfortable. It is the Toastmaster of the evening who needs to make them comfortable. And part of that can happen before the official meeting. So kudos to you, Mr. Toastmaster. I think you pulled off that quite well. I like the speech slides introducing what Toastmasters is about and the mission, and the role players with the slides. I really like that. It looked very professional. It had the just enough details to get everything in instantaneously. I like the fact that you asked for the timer report and the timer gave that. There were so many good things here, right? So many good things that I think made the meeting well. Now, what I think were some areas that we can improve on is that usually our president will open the meeting with a 2-minute speech. Now, if you happen to be the president and the Toastmaster of the evening, you need to save precious time. Time is a non-renewable resource. And in Toastmasters, time is like gold. So I felt that taking up the role and describing the role players was somehow taking the thunder away from somebody else, from the role players themselves. It is the role players who need the opportunity as well to speak. In fact, the Toastmaster of the evening should consider himself as a spotlight, not as someone who's doing too much speaking. In other words, the role of the Toastmaster of the evening is to shed the spotlight on everyone as much as possible and as little on him or herself. That is the sign of a spectacular Toastmaster of the evening. Think of yourself as a conductor of an orchestra. No one hears you, but everybody knows you're there because you're coordinating things with a conductor-like dexterity. So I would have liked that you had called in the grammarian and asked the grammarian, Madam Toastmaster Grammarian, explain your role. Madam Toastmaster R-Counter, explain your role. General Evaluator, explain your role. This way, everyone gets the opportunity to have a speaking opening in the meeting, breaking the ice. In addition, I felt a good choice of word, and I also think that the table topic master, I enjoyed the table topic master, but I have to say that the table topics were a little bit too complicated. In other words, think of table topic sessions as a session where you are helping guests who may be unaware of impromptu speaking how to get ready for a contest. So I would have to say, if I were to be training myself through the club experience with table topics, yes, they were entertaining, and you could have had like a second phase. So you could have said, you know, we can do table topics in 2 ways. One way is to the conventional way, and maybe do 2 or 3 the conventional way. And then you could say, now, who would like to participate in a different style of table topics where I'm going to do this, this, and this, so that people understand you're doing table topics totally different from what is expected in a club contest. Because let's face it, everyone wants to get ready for a club contest. So the club experience should be a training ground for the club contest. So I found them a little bit too challenging, even for myself, I must say. Now, thank you for asking me, and I did participate, but I have to be genuine in my feedback to you as well, to give a balanced and healthy feedback. Grammarian, your time has come. You spoke about most of the negative things that everyone said in their grammar, but you should have also focused on some of the positive things. A grammarian's role is to both shed light on what can be improved in terms of language, but what was also good use, so that we have a balanced perspective. So next time you become a grammarian, or in this case, when anyone becomes a grammarian, be like a scale. The scale of justice does not lean one way. It leans both ways. Okay, so I would say that covers my general evaluation. Again, good meeting, inclusive, positive, conducive. I would never, in my books, excuse myself for not being a native speaker of English. Why? Because native speaker of English do not use the language correctly. Native speakers of English usually don't understand grammar as much as a second language learner. And therefore, I think you undervalue yourself and you undermine your potential as a speaker. Don't forget, There have been non-native speakers who have won the World Championship of Public Speaking. Mohammed Katani, Dhananjaya Hitarachi, and a lot of other speakers that I won't go into. So never excuse yourself saying, you know, we're not native speakers. I heard some very good use of language, some nice speeches, some moving speeches. So all in all, good meeting, well conducted. Is there room for improvement? Sure there is, but that's why we're here. We're here to improve, because the biggest room for improvement is personal improvement. With that, this concludes my general evaluation. I hope it was constructive and fruitful. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster and President of the evening.
Okay, thank you so much, Peter. Thank you so much. You just quote one thing that I really like, that is the only place in the world, the only room in the world that has space to keep having things inside our mind, so we can grow a lot. There is not enough thing that you can learn. And I love it, love it. Thank you so much for sharing us this small detail. I hope everyone got that almost every world champion has English as second language. The last one was, I saw him. I know that the couple years ago was an American, but this is great for us to look inside and see how we can improve and how we are doing great here today. Thank you so much. Oops, sorry for this great feedback. So moving on with our meeting. Did you hear me before? I think I was muted. Yes. Okay. I think I pressed a button here in my keyboard. So thank you so much, Peter. So moving on with our speak, we have now our best of the day. We have best prepared speech, and we have best evaluator and best table topic speaker. And today was a special meeting, and we have today, first we have our first table topic speaker. And like I always say, drum rolls for our best table topic speaker today, for Peter. I sure did use my word after the vote, because it's really great to see someone with such experience use such unusual theme and deliver such a great speech. Thank you so much, Peter. That was a great table topics. And I hope everyone can see after on YouTube and see how you can learn from that. So now we have our best evaluator for this meeting. Drum roll again. And again, uneventable we have, again, Peter. Peter, congratulations again. Great feedback. That's attached to your name, because the Distinguished Toastmaster has the potential to teach us a lot with your knowledge and your experience. So thank you so much. That was a great feedback for Plinio on how to improve his speech. I hope everyone got ideas from his feedback. And now, for the best prepared speech for this meeting, I'd like to say to you that was really close. We almost had a tie with the three speakers. I was amazed to see that, but we have a winner, and the winner was one of the most competitive members. That was Alexandre Magno. Congratulations, my friend. Great speech on how was your pathways on the last year here in Toastmasters. Congratulations for this. I'm sure that you're going to share this with your friends and families. Thank you so much. And closing our meeting, I would like to say, as I mentioned before, Alexandre Magno, closing your first pathways on Toastmasters educational program. That is a great accomplishment. I know that I hope that you keep inside of you that burning desire to grow, and know that different paths has different challenges. Even though some parts are the same, we have different ones. And congratulations for this. You deserve that on your first pathways program completion. We are Brasília Toastmasters. I was your Toastmaster for this meeting, Alessandro Dias. And now I would like to have some final announcements for this meeting, and I would like to open space for our guests to share your agenda in your meeting on your club so everyone can join us. So our next meeting will be in Portuguese. It's May the 8th of May. So it's the second Saturday on May, because the first one is a holiday here in Brasília. So we hope to join you, have you here with us. Is at the same time we are going to make the check-in at 2:40 p.m. and our meeting will begin 3 p.m. sharp. So hope to see you here. And now I'd like to open space to our guests here that share with us how was your experience today. I'm not sure who didn't speak before. I think Patricia, how was the meeting for you today? What you like most on this meeting?
First of all, it was very, very interesting. I have a question for Peter. Peter, were you born in Greece or were you educated elsewhere? That's my first question. I can't hear. Peter?
Peter, you are muted.
Can you hear me?
Of course
Yes.
I can. Well, are you from England?
No, I'm not.
No?
No. I was educated in the United States.
Okay, I thought it was the United States, but I wasn't going to say so. East or west?
East.
In the East, okay. All right, I picked that up, but I wasn't going to say it because you were from Greece and you were introduced that way. So I found it to be a very interesting. I found the speeches to be, I think one of the things that you were talking about, that we were already talking about in Phoenix, is the quality of the speeches that need to be evaluated properly, as Peter described. Not, to advance and to help, but at the same time, the quality of the speech needs to be improved, and not to make it, to see how we can grow. We need to go, as we're saying at Elite Toastmasters in Phoenix, we need to grow up the ladder and become far, far more professional, which is, they are a distinguished Toastmasters group, and that is their objective. So some of the speeches, for example, my next one is going to be on civil rights. And it's going to be a toughie for me because it's my third speech along the presentation mastery. And of course, although it is a topic for America, it is a topic worldwide right now. So that's what we're hoping to do, is to improve the general status of the elevation of where we're going. So I agree with Peter very much on that. I think, Alessandro, your group was very good today, as always. So thank you very much for always inviting me. And I would love to have, if you have it, a calendar for the English meetings, because I don't have anything for 2021. So thank you, and thank you all. It's a pleasure to have met you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Patricia. Always such a kind person. Thank you so much. We are sharing with you our agenda. For
can I just say something to Patricia?
Yes, Peter, sure.
Is that possible?
Hello, Peter. Yes.
Yeah. So if you're interested, Patricia, and for everyone, by the way, this invitation goes out to everyone. Tomorrow, I'm competing in our district speech evaluations where I have qualified. Tomorrow, Sunday, our time, Greece time, 11:30 a.m. I don't know what time it is in the US. Maybe it's quite early for the US, but for Brazil as well, I don't know. Maybe it's late in Brazil. But 12:30 Greece time. If you like, I can put the link. It'll be live on YouTube. You can watch it later. It'll be recorded on YouTube live. If you're interested in seeing, seeing what I can offer at the district level in terms of speech evaluation, because in a club, as you very well know, the evaluations need to be encouraging and, conducive to the speaker and to the project and to the project outcome. So tomorrow I'm competing. I also have an Instagram account where it's only me and public speaking, if you're interested. It's called Peter the Public Speaker. where I go around and give 60-second speeches with a message and a takeaway in less than 60 seconds. In my opinion, it's the best value for time that anyone can offer from someone speaking. I give thought-provoking ideas and questions that can carry on reverberating in your mind throughout the day in this day and age that we live in. I say no more. So it's called Peter the Public Speaker. And these are the things that can help, like Madam Toastmaster Patricia says, raise the level of your speaking potential. The potential is there. You've just got to tap into it and harness it. And harnessing the potential will make you a better speaker. Don't excuse yourself for anything. When you start excusing yourself, it's like throwing in the towel. Native speakers don't speak proficiently accurate, and sometimes they speak very badly. So learning a second language means you have a mind that can cultivate 2 different grammars, 2 different language abilities, and that makes you much more accurate in thinking out what it is you want. So take advantage of that. Anyone who learns a second language has another tool in their tool bag. That's what. So follow me on Instagram if you're interested. Catch me tomorrow on my district contest, where I will be giving my full gusto of speech evaluation. Whatever I have, I'm going to give it to them tomorrow. I want to, go away with the prize. I've competed before. I just want you to know, in district evaluation contests, I've come out second twice. So it's something I do. I love competing. I love competing. I love competitions. I am competitive. I know I'm good, and that's why I like to compete. I want to be clear on that. But that's what Toastmasters should have you doing, raising your bar, raising your bar, and raising your bar. Because in the end, when you know your own potential, you can offer people the help, the assistance, the guidance, and the support. And Patricia, I don't know what your take is on that.
My take is that you are definitely correct on a great deal of it. Not everybody, though, has the potential to go to an intellectual level. So they can go as far as they can. It's up to the Toastmasters, according to what they're wanting to achieve as their goal, to bring it forward. My potential is my voice, and I know that. So what I want to do with that is to turn it into audiobooks. That'll be my 5th career in life. However, the gift of the English language comes from my education in England. Now, my friend over here, Brianna, and I, although we are both Americans, we come from very different backgrounds in the language. And in America, every state speaks differently. It is the vernacular of the state that brings in the differential in the language, meaning the correct grammatical language that everybody in Portugal is trying to speak, whereas we speak differently. Am I right, Brianna? So it is a very difficult thing to say that the native speaker speaks poorly, where perhaps even I, having lived in the United States so many years, find it dreadfully difficult to understand the English now of the Midlands and the North. In fact, I need subtitles, as bad as I would need it for Portugal or for Brazil, and nor can I understand the states of Mississippi, Alabama, and the Deep South. I'm lost, utterly lost, because sentences are not structured the same way. So that's my comment, Peter. It's a very difficult thing when English is spoken in so many countries, Australia, New Zealand, and Canada, but we do all speak differently. So that's my comment. It's not a critique or anything, but I'm agreeing with you mostly, but it's very difficult for us. And I thank you for giving me the stage, everyone. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you, Patricia. Great. Thank you,
I
Peter.
also want to mention here one thing. I am very proud of the fact that Toastmaster Plinio started off with a grand scheme. He wanted to build a highway called a speech, but he was able to successfully reduce it. And, you know, I think, Mr. President, you know that there was some issue there, but he was able to reduce his speech and he pulled it off so nicely. And I have to say, this is the challenge. The challenge is not to do anything you feel makes you feel good. But I've always said that you have the right to break a rule when you prove you have mastered it, right? So today, I think Toastmaster Plinio showed us that he could take the speech or take a speech, reduce it, and make a successful speech. I don't know, Mr. President, what do you think?
I do agree, Peter. I know that that situation arrived to me this couple hours before the meeting, so I wasn't aware of that. And I encourage Peter and Plinio to just move with the objective of the project. That was from 5 to 7 minutes. And sure, that was a great speech. If I didn't know about that, and any of you didn't know about that, everyone was for sure thinking that that was a prepared speech for just 7 minutes. I think he had a great beginning. He has a great story in the middle, and he closed that in the spot, in the right time, and with a great message for everyone. I hope that he had to leave, but I hope he has feel the same. I will share the result for you just to show that was true when I mentioned that we almost had a tie with the 3 speech today. So Alex, I know you are from Plinio Club. Share this with him because it's a pleasure to see that everyone did a great job today and everyone was voted. Open, everyone can vote with everything. So Alex, I know that you would like to share with us the agenda of our club. Please, the stage is yours here too.
What Plinio needs is a hug.
Yes, yes.
He needs some of his own medicine. But I left the invitation. We have meetings every Monday. It's 7:15 p.m. American time. So everybody's invited to stop by. Our meetings are in Portuguese. It's kind of like, it's really funny when I come here because that's the second meeting that I do in English. All our meetings are in Portuguese. But you're all invited. Awesome meeting, amazing. Peter and Patricia, they both really a lot of experience. You know, it's a pleasure to be here listening to both of you, and I mean all of you. But you know, great. Thank you so much, and I hope you see.
Thank you so much. Kyle would like to share any words on your experience in English meeting.
I'd just like to thank you all for the experience. For me, it was amazing. Being here in particular, it's really, really nice because Aletheia invited me so many times to be here. And I was like, God, I can refuse anymore. And then she has this sentence, she has this quote like, se joga, which is like go get them. And then I'm here, I'm really happy. And actually this meeting has motivated me in a way that I want to participate more and more in English meetings so I can develop more my English, not only my English, but I'd say fulfill this wish I have on meeting new people from all over the world and get in touch with these stories and culture. So I just want to thank you all.
Okay, great, Kyle. So thank you, everyone. I think that we have our guests here, and that was a great meeting. I know many people had to leave before, but it's great to see that we start the meeting on time and finish that on time. Again, thank you so much, Peter, for your feedback, your participation today. I think it's the first time that we are on the same meeting together, so that's great to see how we can improve together. I was away from our club for a couple of months because I was moving from one home to another and working in my apartment too. So I was away for a few weeks. Now I'm back. It's great to see everyone here, and we should have a great club, great meetings, and with great guests as yourself. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. I hope to see you all in the next meeting we have on Portuguese or in English. Thank you all. And anything that you want, you can say, you can talk with Aletheia, our VPE, or myself. You can drop a line in our Instagram account. It's a pleasure to have you and work with you again. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Stay well. Bye-bye.
Good luck,
See
Peter.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Akiko. Bye. Thank you so much.